Alright, so hey, as you guys can see, I'm back. Excuse the lighting. I'm outside, but it's hot. Okay, so I'm back. I got back. These bugs out here. I got back 2 days ago. It was a long flight, guys. Let me tell you, it was like the flight. I had to go from Cape Town to Amsterdam, which was 11 hours, and then I went from Amsterdam back here, which was 8 hours, so like 19 hours straight in the sky, and then I had like a 3-hour layover, so I was literally flying for about 24 hours. So it's a long flight to get to South Africa, but totally worth it. Anyway, so as you may have noticed, I didn't vlog. I mean, I did. You're gonna see it here. But I just decided to combine Cape Town into one vlog. Cape Town wasn't really planned out so well by my teacher. She just, hi Tanner, come here. Back on my filming buddy. Cape Town wasn't really planned out so well. So it wasn't like we had stuff to do every day. We had a lot of free days and stuff that wasn't really worth vlogging, so I thought that the stuff that was worth vlogging I could combine into one thing. So I really did like Cape Town. I think I liked, I don't know, Cape Town and Johannesburg. Despite what people say, I felt way safer in Cape Town than I did in Johannesburg. We had a few incidences in Cape Town that made me not feel so safe. So I definitely like Johannesburg more as far as safety, but I think as far as like where I would live one day, probably Cape Town. Are you tired? I missed him. He hates me. And it's hot, so he's probably dying. But anyway, so day one, I have my notes on my phone, so I'm going to walk you guys through it. So, day one, flying into Cape Town was beautiful. I absolutely loved it. When we came in, you could see like the ocean and stuff, and it was kind of rainy. Unfortunately, it's the rainy season in Cape Town, but when you were flying in, you could just see the ocean and the mountains at the same time. And I really love that about Cape Town, like the two dichotomies, I guess you could call them, landscape. So flying in was beautiful. We saw that, and it really I just sat there and took it in, honestly. I had a window seat, and usually I hate window seats, but this was probably the time I was most grateful to be able to have a window seat. And just coming in, honestly, on that flight was like, it felt like home, kind of. Like, I could definitely see myself living there. I felt at peace when we were coming in on that flight. So, I definitely enjoyed it. Once we got there, we pretty much got our rental cars and went straight to Sundowners, which is this thing that my teacher does, where you basically go to a really pretty viewpoint and you sit there and watch the sun go down, which I had never done before. I guess other people have done this kind of a thing before, but I've never done it. So you go to the top of the thing, to the top of this hill, which was called Signal Hill, I think, and we watched the sun go down. I think I have some footage of that, hopefully, and it was really beautiful. Like, the view was amazing. It was cloudy, unfortunately, but we still got to see the sun go down. It just was kind of doom and gloomy looking. But I took lots of pictures. There's also pictures, like, they have these squares everywhere in South Africa, like, that have your coordinates on it. And I took pictures in, like, all of the ones that we found. So that was really fun. I was glad that they had one there. And that basically was just like, welcome to Cape Town. After that, we went to our hostel that we stayed at, which I didn't get any footage of or like pictures of. It was really basic. I actually didn't like it at all. I preferred Johannesburg, but it was literally just like a regular hotel room with 2 beds. There was no TV, no central heat, but that's like not a thing really. in South Africa anyway, central heating and cooling is not really a thing. So we didn't have that, which sucked. And our bathroom was detached from our room. So like the bathroom was cold because we didn't have central heating. So they just give you like a little room heater. And obviously the room heater didn't reach the bathroom. So whenever you had to pee, it was freezing. And that was just, no, I don't want to go back there. 10 out of 10 would not recommend. But they did have some really nice rooms. We just didn't get the best room. Like, you can pay more and get a better room. But anyway, day 2, we went to the mall. We did some shopping. I doubt that I have any footage of that just because we went to the mall and went shopping. It was like a free day. We had a lot of free days in Cape Town. Day 3, we went to Robben Island, which is where Nelson Mandela was kept. It was a really cool experience. Basically, you have to take a boat from Cape Town to Robben Island, and that boat ride there was like 40 minutes or so. And the views are amazing from like the boat ride. And once you get there, you are supposed to go on a bus tour. But unfortunately, our bus tour, like our bus didn't show up for whatever reason. So we went straight to Nelson Mandela's, we went straight to the prison. So when you get there, you're assigned a tour guide and he is a former prisoner. So our former prisoner walked us around. He showed us different areas. We went to one area where there was like a famous picture taken, and the picture was completely staged to make it look like the island was better than it was. So I have some footage of that where it's like pictures of the fake picture, and then there's also like pictures of some of the prisoners when they came back. They had like a Robben Island reunion, if you want to call it that, where some of the prisoners came back. And that was really cool too. So we got to stand where that fake picture was taken and made it look like they were just knitting and sewing and sitting on the ground, like, but in actuality they were doing really tough labor. They worked on like limestone caves but didn't have any kind of protection, so a lot of them ended up dying and getting eye problems and things like that from working in those caves and stuff so long. After that, we saw like a room where inmates were held for a long period of time. And these were the ones that were not super influential, if you could say that. And they would sit them in there. And he said that like it would be like 60 to 80 people at a time in there. They literally had like one bathroom. It was just really bad conditions. There weren't any mattresses and things like that, which I mean, I guess is to be expected because it's prison. It's not the Hilton, you know? So I don't know, it's just really hard looking at that. And then even in the prison, they had racial segregation, especially when it came to food and things. So he showed us like a board that had the Negro diet and like the white people Afrikaner diet and what they thought was a staple of each diet. It was just a really weird thing and very interesting that race continued even to prison. So after we saw that room and he kind of introduced himself, he walked us through Nelson Mandela's, he walked us to Nelson Mandela's cell, which I was slightly disappointed with because I thought we were going to go inside. And I don't know where I got this idea that we were going to go inside of Nelson Mandela's cell. Like, I don't know if I saw that on TV or something, but we definitely did not get to go inside. Our tour guide honestly just blew right past it. Like, he didn't even stop. He just said, "It's on your left," and kept moving. So I ended up being like one of the last people there taking pictures and stuff because I feel like that was really important. You know, for obvious reasons. He influenced racial, you know, rights all over the world, not just in South Africa. So I felt it was my obligation to at least go and see it, which is honestly, I didn't even want to go because I hate boat rides. Like, they give me really bad anxiety. And I knew we had to get on a boat to get there. And I was contemplating not going. But because I knew what it meant, I forced myself to go. And I'm really glad that I did. And I knew I was going to go. Like, I knew I had to go. Even though my teacher was like, no, you don't have to. You can stay. Like, for me, I knew I had to go. I felt like it was my duty to go. So seeing Nelson Mandela's cage was a really important part. Like, it was the main reason why I was there. I felt like that was the main reason why everybody was there, but maybe not. You know, everybody's different. Anyway, after we left the cell, we got on the bus. So our bus finally showed up. We got on the bus and we went and toured the island. It's cool because people actually live on the island, and the students have to take a boat to class every day, and it's a really interesting thing. And the island was super quaint. It's a teeny tiny island. There's no cars or anything like that, you know, because you can walk everywhere. It's just a really cool place. And we stopped at, like, on the tour, we stopped at different locations that were related to the prison. So we stopped at a cemetery where they had put lepers. They also house leopards, which I didn't know. Like, I thought it was just for prisoners, but people who had leprosy were also sent to the island, and there was really no cure, so they would just die and put them in this special cemetery. And then, so yeah, like, we just toured stuff like that, and that was really cool. The view from the island, guys, let me tell you, because we got off the bus to, like, take a break and get snacks and stuff, and the view from the island was spectacular. Like, I've really never seen anything prettier than the view from the island. It was absolutely amazing. I want to go back. So, also, we got back and we didn't really do anything for the rest of the day. But the next day we went to Penguin Beach. Yay, Penguin Beach, which is where the penguins are. And a lot of people don't know that there's penguins in South Africa. I knew that. I'm pretty sure that's on Happy Feet. But, you know, people don't be paying attention, so, you know. Anyway. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was on Happy Feet. But, hey. Yeah, so they have penguins. So we went to the beach and we saw the little penguins. They were super cute. I wish we could, like... Part of me wishes I could, like, touch them and hang out with a penguin. But, another, you know, the thinking part of me is like, okay, obviously not. It's a wild animal. They don't need to be, you know, they don't need to be exposed to human contact. Do not touch animals. Do not feed animals, guys. Like, please don't. Even though it's tempting. Even sometimes I get tempted. And I want to pet a penguin. And I want to feed him a little fish. And take a picture with him. But that's not the way it works. So, yeah. Mini rant over. Don't feed animals. So, the view was great. I loved it. I would definitely go back. And we ended up going to this little alcove, like a beach portion of it that didn't have any penguins on it. And we had a lot of fun. I took lots of pictures. I got in, I mean, you'll see.
It's really pretty.
Look at the starfish.
Okay, it's so cute. It's
Ready?
packed. Yeah.
I used to work.
No, that's too much. That's too much. That's as far as I can go.
We tried.
As you can see, I didn't really get into the water. I gave a valiant effort, though, guys. A valiant effort. I really tried. But that water was cold. You have to remember, it was winter time. So even me being in that little bathing suit and stuff was a bold move. But some people did jump off the rocks and things like that. I just didn't. I couldn't. My feet were too cold. I knew I couldn't get in there. But after I ran into the water, there was lots of, like, little starfish and things like that were really, really cool. I've never seen starfish like that. I mean, they were just everywhere, just chilling. So that was an awesome experience. To the San Cultural Center, and that's the next day. I don't have any footage of that because, I don't know, I'm iffy about recording cultural things because I don't want it to come across as exploitative. But that was probably one of the highlights of this trip for me, was the San Cultural Center. I loved seeing the people. I loved hearing the language. I loved talking about it. And for me, it was important because I haven't done Ancestry DNA, but I know, like, I've watched a lot of them on YouTube. And I know a lot of times black people are mostly from West Africa, but they also have a portion of Bantu hunter-gatherer societies, which include tribes like the San. So for me, it was super interesting to go back and see how my people could have lived at one point and how they should be living today, to be frank. And and to see what culture was stripped away from me and my ancestors. So I really enjoyed that. I honestly could see myself living like that now. If I hadn't have been exposed to TV and cameras and the internet and all the luxuries that we have, I could see myself living like that. It was simple, you know, and it was fun, and you don't have anything to really worry about. Like, as long as you get enough food and things like that, you don't have all these extra stressors that we have in our life today. And you can really nourish culture, which is amazing. Like the songs, the dances, everything has meaning, and we don't really do that anymore. Nobody has time to try to continue culture. And that's not to say that we don't have culture now. We do. It's just not, I don't want to say it's not as rich, but to me it doesn't feel as rich. Like, it doesn't feel as rich as it once was, because nobody has time to really sit down and do rituals and, you know, generate specific dances and cultural things and have handmade beaded skirts and things like that. And that's not only what culture is, but those things like that are things that we don't have time for anymore and that we don't really do anymore. And I wish that we did. So I could see myself living like that. I just loved it. I loved it. And we went on this really cool ride. And I'll insert some pictures of some animals that we saw. It was almost like going on a mini safari, to be honest. Like, there were ostrich, which was really cool. Those things are gigantic. There were, I think they were eland, but I could be wrong. It was either eland or kudu. I'll annotate what it actually was. But there was cool stuff like that, you know, and I just really enjoyed myself at the San Cultural Center. So the next day after that, we had a free day. And then the next day after that was our last day there. And there was another free day. A lot of people chose to go and, you know, kill themselves and like jump off of rocks and skydive and swim with sharks and all this crazy stuff. I value my life, so I chose to get my nails done. And I chose to get a piercing, which I'm not going to show because it's a hard piercing to show, but it's on the back of my neck basically. And I really wanted it, and it was dirt cheap there, so why not? Because I have a similar piercing, and I got it in the States, and that cost me $100. When I got it there, it cost me $28. And it's okay, like, I have lots of piercings, so I knew what to look for, and I knew that he was following procedures, so it wasn't like I was losing any kind of safety precautions or anything like that. He still did what he was supposed to do. And after we did that, we went to have our last supper at this traditional African restaurant called African Cafe. It was amazing. The food was actually really, really good. And at the end of it, they did a cultural song and dance for us, which I really, really loved. It was amazing. And I'll insert footage of that here. So yeah, that was awesome. That was another highlight of the trip for me because, like, I just love the cultural aspect of stuff. This trip has really made me feel like I want to go back to school and get my degree in sociology, because I really feel like I think like a sociologist and I'm concerned with sociological issues, but I can't see myself making a career out of being a sociologist, but I would like to continue to study it. I currently am getting a minor in it, so I'm like halfway there, but I would like to go back and get my degree in sociology, I think, one day. So yeah, that was my trip in Cape Town. I'm happy to be back. I'm planning to go back. I want to move there. I haven't changed my mind at all. If anything, it's only increased my desire to want to live there. and definitely go back. Next time I'll go back in the summer though, because the winter, no, not for Courtney. I'll go back in the summer, and I just can't wait for the next chapter of my life to happen, really, because I think this trip is going to open up so many doors for me. Other than that though, thank you guys for following me on this journey. I hope you liked it. If you still have questions, definitely contact me or whatever, and I can answer the questions for you. There was lots of cultural differences and things that I didn't get into because I'm not trying to have an hour-long video every time I post. But if you have questions, if you want to know what happened, let me know. I've been posting pictures on Instagram, Facebook, and Snapchat, but that's irrelevant because they're gone now. But like, I have pictures and things I'd love for you guys to see. If you want to see them, I'll leave my information below. But yeah, thank you guys for coming with me. I'm glad to be back. I'm glad that I'm safe, and I appreciate you guys. I'll see ya. Bye.
When we were